ass. The wrong button.
Yeah, she was supposed to bring. Oh, look at that! It's going pretty good now.
Give it a second, and then I'll jump on. Oh. It's not showing me live. It's
Says I'm live.
It's not. 10 minutes ago.
No, it's the wrong one.
It's the wrong one.
Go back to my channel is what you're gonna have to do.
Darian Ballard is live. Hold on. This is the one right here. There.
That's a lot better.
I'm behind. Hold on. It is live, so.
Huh. Looks like that's working.
There you go. I got a delay, but it's still a little blocky, but
not as bad as it was.
A hell of a lot better than it was. The more it goes in, the less you move your camera around, the better. Can you see like the resolution, how bad, like?
Yeah, it's still shit, but it's not as bad.
You have to wait because it's on a delay, so
it's not as bad as it was.
It's a heavy delay.
Yeah. That's wicked delayed.
But it's a hell of a lot better than it was. Hell of a lot better.
Yeah. Well, anybody that joins, if you're talking in the chat, I see there's only one in there, which is probably my friend Chris here. If you're gonna have to be real patient because apparently this is lagged. I'm gonna have to talk to other guys and see what they do when they're live streaming. It looks better, yeah. Hell of a lot better. Wicked delay, yeah. Wicked bad delay. But it does appear to be a little more clear.
Yeah, it's a lot more clear. Like you can actually see what you're doing there. Before it was like 3 pixels per screen per the screen. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, so it's looking pretty good for Godfathers there. This summer, if I can actually get this all figured and straightened out, I'll probably do a couple of live streams where I mess with pyrotechnics and mix up some compounds and light them live, and have maybe people offer things that I could mix, you know what I'm saying? And try to mix them on camera live, but I'd have to have somebody else follow me around with the camera because I can't mix stuff and hold the phone at the same time. Well, we had 4 people on. We just went down to 2. Well, live streaming is all new to me, my friends. I'll have to talk to Michael Taylor, Solo Yacker. He does a lot of live streaming, and his stuff comes out pretty good most of the time. I can see it's a miracle. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, it is a miracle. And this is with 1 bar through Sprint. I mean AT&T, sorry. Through AT&T versus the router in my house. I'm thinking that the router we've got in the house is too old and garbage. Nice.
Jen said, tell him it's outside of the lab.
So the can's out there somewhere. There's a can for kerosene out there. And as I was saying earlier, and the video wasn't good enough so nobody could see it. Now, remember bring it in, the ammonium nitrate video I made, making it from air? Well, I've got these now. This is a, let me try to get it where I can see it. this is a diffuser, and it's actually all glass, so this shouldn't dissolve if I try to do it with this. I got a couple of them. They were pretty expensive. Nice long glass. Real life. Yay, what's up, man? So now that we've got some clarity, I mean a little bit, it's not great, I will show a little bit of the lab glass I've got. This is just the stuff that I commonly use right off. I try to keep it right in boxes. Ooh, don't want to break any of it, but we got the setups for the short paths. We got the little, what do you call it? The udder there, what do you want to call it? We got short path head. I got several of those. I got SOX electric extractors from little, that's what that kind of stuff is, from little teeny things all the way up to 1,000 milliliter. Dean Stark's traps. Nice sodium metal. Yeah, that stuff's kind of dangerous if you let it sit too long. I have just so many different types of condensers and pieces of glass. Addition funnels of every size you can imagine. Separatory funnels. Lots of chemicals. When I see chemicals, it's kind of a problem. I just buy it. If I see it and I don't have it, I buy it. Lots of these suckers too, you know, separatory funnels. The other day when I was setting up to do the acetate there, I ended up smashing one of these, so I had to buy another freaking funnel. Yes, lots of shelves. I need shelves. I need stuff that the glass can't just roll off. Filtrate should be better. Yeah. It is, this is, it's got the G3, I believe it is, in it? Yeah, G3. So it's the fine one. And here was what was left over the other day. It's warm in here now, so there's no crystals in it, but if it cools down, there's crystals in it. Oh, yeah, and that reminds me, I forget what the person's name was, but I had a commenter on the last video of the pentacetate, and the guy was saying, you look confused, or girl, whoever it was saying, you look confused by the amount that you got. And they were saying that if I had got 100%, you know, yield back, that I would have gotten like 12 grams. And yeah, they're right. The math works out for that. But I figured using such a sloppy setup that wasn't made for that that there was no way that I would get anywhere near that back. But if you actually look up the moles of xylitol, how many moles are in a gram of xylitol, and the number, the weight, and how much is actually in xylitol pentacetate, it's way heavier than the pentacetate. It's over twice the weight. So yeah, now 2x4 shelves. Yep, I should do that. We're going to have another lab. We actually already have it set up, but I'm gonna make an actual technically real fume hood that has a cover and all that in there. And the other place is way bigger than this. Way bigger. This literally is an old cow milk room. There used to be a big stainless steel tank in the middle of the room here that this pumping equipment would suck all the milk from out in the barn, and it would all come into here. So yeah, but I got a way bigger room that my stuff will fit in better out back. I'm a collector of chemicals too. Drives the wife nuts. Yeah, it drives a lot of people nuts. Chemicals are key though. I mean, I've got stuff that a lot of people can't get their hands on very easily. Like you'd have to make it. Like this, was this one the azide? Yeah, sodium azide. This is also sodium azide. Right. phosphorus pentoxide, phosphorus pentoxide. I've got vanillin. Anybody can get that, I guess. What is this? Is this the aminoguanidine bicarbonate? More aminoguanidine bicarbonate. That stuff's really hard to get. Which one scares you, the azides or the aminoguanidine bicarbonate? Hydrazine sulfate. I have 5-ATZ here somewhere. I had. That must be what this is. No, that's hydrazine sulfate. Huh. I wonder if somebody took my stuff. I'll have to try to figure out where that went. But I have 5-ATZ somewhere. I don't think I put it in the freezer. No. Hopefully that didn't disappear. That took a while to make. What is this? That is something. Santa Cruz Bio has aminoguanidine bicarbonate. I can make it for the price. I can buy it. Yeah, it's really much. It's a pain in the ass to make, though. I mean, filtering it out and everything else, and that stuff. It's such a pain to make. And if you actually have a place that you can have it shipped to, it's not expensive if you can buy it in bulk. And yeah, the 5-ATZ, I have that here. I don't know where it is. I have to look for that. It kind of irks me. It's gone. I need more. Look, yeah. Yeah, but I use that to make nitrotetrazoles. I prefer the nitrotetrazoles. I really like those. I like silver nitrotetrazole. Yeah, for blasting caps. What do we got flapping around over here? I have so many other chemicals kicking around. My friend, like I was saying earlier, he stopped doing lab stuff. The state he was in gave him a hard time. Benzaldehyde. So that, yeah. I mean, I got all kinds of chemicals. If you name it, I've probably got it here somewhere. But I need to get organized. I don't remember what was what. No need to go through it all. That's not what I thought it was. I thought it was my sieves. Yeah, at some point I'm actually going to do a video on melt cast blasting caps. I used to use a straw, and I'm sure my longtime viewers know about the straw trick, where I would crimp the end of a straw, but I'd melt it, crimp the end of it, and I would fill it up with, say, HMTD or azide or whatever I happen to have. The videos I did was all HMTD at the time. But what I actually have been doing lately when I make blasting caps is I've been getting the Saturn rocket whistle tubes. I don't know if the camera can see that or not. Let me pull one out. And the Saturn rocket whistle tubes, I mean, they're really good. They're solid. They can hold a lot of shit. So what I was going to do with these is I figured I would fill them halfway up with ETN and then warm them in water so that it melts into the bottom, and then fill the top with azide or silver tetrazole or whatever, and do some really good blasting caps. But lately I've been just filling these up with the primary explosive and using them as a cap. They work good. And they can't crush as easy, so you don't have to worry about, like, if you accidentally stepped on it or the sun going through it if you're dealing with a peroxide, which is handy to not have to worry about the sun setting something off. I tried to show this earlier, but my video was so bad you probably couldn't see it. I have over a pound, this is half of it here, of 98% red phosphorus. I got that from Backyard Science 2000, not the big channel Backyard Science now, but there's another one called Backyard Science 2000. I'm subscribed to him. I don't know if you can see that on my channel or not, but the guy sells all kinds of cool chemicals. So if there's stuff you can't find, he could probably find it for you. He actually hooked me up with the guy that I got that from. This stuff here makes a really pretty green color, blue color when you mix it right with fireworks, but it's really poisonous. So I don't play with that stuff much, but they're good and pointy, don't need a punch. Yep. That's true, I suppose. If you're talking about what, pressing them into a plasticized explosives or a powder. It's a slow go, my friends, but look, it's clearing up finally. It says we're at 104C. Clearing up. I got one of these graduated cylinders in 1,000 mils. That's come in handy a few times. Yeah, I thought about remonetizing the channel. I don't know if anybody's been around long enough to know that I used to be monetized, and they were trying to force me in to do the double verification stuff just to be able to keep the monetization. And I never collected the money. They still owe me a ton of fucking money. I never collected it because it's illegal in America without an FEL. A lot of people don't know this, to make money off explosives directly or indirectly. So, like, say, making this video, I could make money off it if I monetized. But let's say I make a video where I physically make an explosive, or I put it out, or I take a picture of it and I try to sell a shirt with the explosion on it. That's actually illegal, believe it or not. So it's like, at the time I figured it's not worth it since I can't collect the money anyway. But now I figure that if I can ever get to the point where I can remonetize, that I would remonetize, and I would only monetize the videos that weren't explosives, that were simply precursors, and that way I could come up with enough cash to continue to make better videos, because it's actually quite expensive to buy the glass and cameras and to take the time to do it. I'm pretty much self-taught. I've got other family and friends that have been to college along those lines, and the funny thing is 9 times out of 10 when we get into a family argument or something, I come out on top. So I'm not going to say that I'm better than the people that I know that have been, but I am better than a few of them most of the time. I'm certainly am not 4 or 8 year college material or nothing like that, but I'm good at what I do.
What is DVX?
If it's labeled fireworks, it really doesn't matter, because it's still considered an explosive. Like, another example, like, a lot of people don't realize this. Let's say I make some fireworks, right? And I have one of my viewers over. I can't even let them light it legally, because that would be basically transferring it to another person. It is so insane, the laws in America about how this stuff works. It's crazy. And yeah, hobbyist fireworks, man, you can't, once you've made them, you can't travel with them, you can't transfer them. They got to be used like where you made them. They don't differentiate between fireworks and dynamite. They really don't care. Well, at least now I know if I want the video to be a little clearer on live feed that I have to use my phone service and not the router in the house.
Yeah, it looks a lot better on phone service.
So lately, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been printing stuff up, which before I was not printing stuff. I ended up buying a printer and a laminator so I could do all this stuff like this and just keep it around the lab, so I don't have to like look at my phone or go look stuff up if I don't remember, which is pretty cool.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Ulf, I know that, and that's another reason why I'm trying to do some, and I'm gonna do more of these videos where you make the precursors. To make the precursors, like even making ammonium nitrate from air and so on, or making the hydrogen. Ammonium hydroxide, for example, out of other stuff, because I know that many of my friends around the world, you can't even get the basics. And I've actually got a lot of flack from people saying, well, why are you doing that in the video? Because you can just buy it. And it's like, well, I know I can buy it, but a lot of people can't. So, yeah, and I'm going to continue with that type of stuff. In fact, I've considered doing videos where we start directly literally from dirt and things like that, and move our way up into making more complex items. Now, the thing that I'm the worst at, and I'm going to be quite honest with you guys, is I misspeak often. I'll know what I want to say, I have it in my mind, and it all comes out backwards. Okay, what do you say, Ulf? Ammonium nitrate from air?
You were talking
No, that's, no, the way I do that is I use ozone. And I was using fish bubblers, but they fell apart, so I stopped using fish bubblers, and that's why I bought these. These are called diffusers. And these are glass. So you bubble the O3, through this, and through your ammonium hydroxide that you bought at the grocery store for cleaning. And you do that literally for a month, and you'll end up with like a couple of ounces of ammonium nitrate. The video I have that video in my YouTube channel. It's also on my BitChute channel. Might even be on Rumble, and what else do I got? I got videos everywhere.
you have no need to make ammonium nitrate.
But you just saying it? Of course I have no need to make it, but other people need to know how to make it, wise ass.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the wise ass behind me. That guy. We were doing some shooting earlier this year, and I had a couple foreigners over, and I only got part of that video up. But anyway, I made a bunch of tannerite, and we set the tannerite out, and I had one bit of tannerite that was just a little too small to use as a target. So I went and got up some PETN and a blasting cap, right? Well, I mixed a little bit of PETN up with the tannerite, and then on the outside of the container, I put a small bag of PETN and then the blasting cap. I'll tell you what, that was one of the loudest explosions I have ever heard. It literally only took the police about 20 minutes to get here. Which I proceeded to kick them out of my yard because they were being assholes. But, oh man, was that freaking loud. I might do another one like that this summer. Okay, what do you got here? Let's see. And something you buy. That's right. You're totally right. Especially today, Doctor, with all of the tracking of credit cards and everything else, and most stuff you have to order online because you're not going to get it local. It's all by design, my friend. You wait. You guys wait. Don't even get me started on this stuff, actually. You wait until they do a digital currency and you can't even use cash or anything anymore. It's going to be really bad. Pretty cool. I'll check out the clip. Oh, yes, please check it out. I mean, I don't know how many Americans I actually have in here. But this is a little political, so I'm sure some of you won't like it, but like, unbelievable that today a judge, for example, at the Supreme Court ruled that they could take down all of the barricades to stopping people from coming in illegally from the southern border, right? Now, I love my friends in the South and all, but I have respect for those that come here and do it right. I do not have any respect for those that sneak across the border and look for a handout, okay? And the Supreme Court is supposed to uphold the U.S. Constitution, right? And literally, in the U.S. Constitution, you can look this up, Article IV, subsection 4 of the U.S. Constitution, guarantees to every state in the Union a republican form of government and to be protected against invasion. But yet, somehow, they ruled in the other way. But yeah, I'm afraid for my country at this point. And I'll get off that subject, because it's probably just not a good one for everybody right now. But thoughts on Ordnance Lab? They make cool videos. Now, okay, which one was? Do you remember which one Ordnance Lab was?
I can't remember which one it is.
Is he the guy that just hurt himself?
That was I think that was the Ballistics High Speed there.
Ballistics High Speeds who hurt themselves?
Yeah.
Matt, I'm not sure. I know the name. I just can't put my finger on it right now.
Let's see if I can look it up.
Yeah. Look, yeah. To be fair, my friend's gonna look up the channels, try to refresh my memory. There's a lot of good explosive channels out there. What gets me is none of them get bothered, and if I upload certain types of videos, my stuff comes down so fast it's not even funny. Was it? Yeah, the Supreme Court does whatever it wants. But here's the thing that I'll say about the electors and all that, is that, believe it or not, and a lot of people don't understand this, the states have full power over elections. And believe it or not, the Supreme Court's not even supposed to get involved in it at all. So the states are actually free to do or discriminate or whatever they want as far as elections go. The only thing they can't do is say, well, you can't vote because you're a certain color or race or religion. That's the only thing that the Supreme Court could tell them they can't do. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, Ordnance Lab, I mean, he's all right. Some of the stuff I've seen him, I didn't agree with him on, but he seems to have a decent channel. I mean, he definitely likes to do a lot of ammonium nitrate stuff, or at least that's what I saw anyway.
He's got a bunch of different shit.
Yeah, Doctor, that was a really bad piece of news. In fact, it upset me enough to where I almost didn't come on. And Amanda Lewis, I'm having a hard time reading my phone here. What got you into chemistry? Well, I've always, my entire life, enjoyed chemistry to some extent. When I was a very poor child and I could not afford to really get into this stuff, so I did a lot of, like absolutely stupid type of chemistry, like mixing stuff that you shouldn't in places that you shouldn't. And I got in a lot of trouble as a kid doing that. And my parents put the kibosh to that real quick when I was younger. And then as I got older, I just saw how crazy the world was getting. And I started thinking that, what if I can't buy ammunition? What if I can't what if I can't get medicine? What if I need antibiotics? Because I'm telling you that this country's coming to an end, and it's only a matter of time. And right now, it's a good idea to be prepared and be proficient in everything that you can to be sustainable. For example, with the stuff I've learned in chemistry here, I've been able to, I can make powders, I can make explosives, I can make fertilizers, I can literally extract salicylic acid out of things like goldenrod and things like that to make painkillers. I mean, there are just so many things. I could literally extract penicillin if I had to. So at this point, I'm looking at it as, survival. We're going to have to be able to survive. Gore versus Bush. Yeah, that was a pretty bad one. And I tell you what, this whole country would have been better off without either one of those guys. And back then, because I'm not super old, but back then, I was kind of a Bush guy. I didn't realize how dangerous the policies that he was doing is, like the Patriot Act and stuff like that. Listen, both sides of the aisle are completely destroying this country. Unbelievable. It's just so bad. It's so sad what's going on. Well, Sean, it's a good reason to do it. And the more knowledge is power. And I would urge anybody that's just dancing around the edges, because I'm pretty much like I said, I like to follow recipes. I like to follow other people's literature, okay? Now, yeah, I can figure out moles. I can do all that crap. I'm just lazy, and I don't like to do that crap. So when it comes down to trying to engineer something or look at something and come up with it without a recipe, I dread doing it. But I'm going to try to do more of that. But it's like I said, I just dread doing it. I prefer to know what's going on before I even get started. But, knowledge is power. And there's no way that we're going to be able to sustain ourselves with what's about to happen to this country, with what's happening. And, all our friends over the big pond, I feel so bad for you guys because all of your rights have pretty much already been taken. I mean, it started with guns and now it's on scissors. I mean, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And what people, call me conspiracy theory if you want, right? But they're going to do these 15-minute cities. They are going to shuffle everybody into cities and take you out of the countryside. Look up Agenda 30 by 30. It's literally called 30 by 30. The U.S. government is trying to buy up 30% of all the land in America by a certain date. They have other plans beyond that. And they're going to forbid people from going into those areas. It sounds like some movie. It's crazy.
Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd. See, he's a movie guy. I don't watch movies, and whenever we get talking about this stuff, he's like, "Holy shit!" There's a movie about that.
Yeah, I've seen all kinds of movies about all the stuff that's happening now, and they're all mainstream movies too.
Yeah, no, I love that. No conspiracy theory. There's spoiler alerts. Yep, that's definitely it. Yeah, gunsmithing is kind of a must know. Yep, I'm really good with putting guns together. The first gun I ever built, I was 9 years old, and I literally made it out of water pipe pieces and stuff here on the farm. Like I said, I grew up on a dairy farm. Still live on the same property. But literally, when I was 9 years old, I made an LR-22, and I used a drop block and an elastic with a nail to set it off, and it worked. And that one never blew up or anything.
Never blew up in your face.
No, that one didn't blow up. I did have a 410 though that I built later that it didn't blow up in my face, but it backfired a little. Yeah, that one was pretty nasty. I used to do a lot of videos. Shit, back in the MySpace days, I was doing videos. If you go look at my backup channel, which is Darian's Main Miscellaneous, is that what it was? Miscellaneous Main. I've got a few clips. Excuse me, of my old videos over there where I did like an air cannon shooting a line and stuff. I used to do go-karts, dune buggies. I even made aircraft when I was younger. I've actually built and flown small aircraft. I'm lucky I'm alive. You know what really gets me is, I know my feed sucks and it's probably not the clearest and all, and I actually have more people watching right now than John Crump Live normally gets. I'm kind of surprised. No disrespect, John Crump, if you're out there watching. He's a hell of a guy. He's a big advocate in the two-way community. Shit, he writes for AmmoLand? Is that who he writes for?
I'm not sure who he writes for.
So I've got other videos coming too. We got a steel plate. And we're going to try to penetrate it with 300 WSMs, one of his rifles, and I got one too. He's got a shorter barrel, and we're gonna poke a hole in it with the 50 cal, and I got some exploding incendiary rounds for the 50. But I'm also, when I'm done with that, probably gonna try to see if we can't smash the plate using supercharged tannerite. Like, maybe I'll use tannerite that's infused with RDX or something like that to see if we can't shatter the plate. That would be fun. What is this? What do you think about future drones? Oh yeah, that's very scary stuff. Yeah. Oh man, those. I tell you what. I don't know if anybody ever saw. There was a video put out. It was of course, it was an acted out video. It was theoretical, and it showed these new drones that could fly around and. They would literally fly to your forehead and launch a small shape charge right into your forehead, and it could tell who you were by by visual recognition and all that. Yeah, if they're showing us that stuff as video clips, they've got it.
They got better.
They probably got better. You're right. There's a new technology out there too right now, where they can actually use a laser, right? And they can detect off a bare spot on your skin, whether it be your neck, your face, forehead, and arms, and they can actually detect your heartbeat. Yeah, free CRS, that's for sure. I mean, that was a travesty of law right there.
Yep, absolutely.
That's the thing, though. They can jail anybody for anything at any time they want. But yeah. But yet they allow all of these Antifa and all these buttholes, literally fascists, to go out and do all this stuff, and almost none of them get in any trouble. But then somebody that does an piece of art on a piece of metal, and it's freaking art because it's nothing more, and he gets thrown in jail. Have you watched the YouTube channel The Yankee Marshal? I don't think I have.
I never have.
I think I'll check it out. What kind of videos do they do? I'm starting to get some acid. $104. So I don't know if you heard me, but what does the Yankee Marshal channel? What kind of stuff do they post? Marshals? Is it like cops or something, or? Can you look that up, Chris? Coming over now. Yeah. A little slow. You know, yeah, yes, I know Dugan Ashley. Dugan's actually subscribed to my BitChute channel, and when I first contacted him, he knew exactly who I was, which was very flattering. He was like, "Oh, you're the guy that does the HDN using the drop method," and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I was very honored that he knew who I was, and yeah, I'm subscribed to him as well. But like I said, I wish he would subscribe to my YouTube channel, but he's only subscribed to my BitChute. Heating. Yeah.
Yankee Marshal.
Heating mantle is your next thing. Yeah, heating mantles are nice to have. I got 2 of these. I got 4 of the 1000s, and I had 3 of those, but one of them died. And let me tell you something about these guys here, the Jonah Labs. These work really good until they don't. And you cannot buy parts for them. You'd have to literally get generic stuff and try to fix them. And I even contacted the company. I'm like, told them just, sell me the chips out of the inside, and they wouldn't do it. So I don't know what I'm going to buy next. BitChute is where all the good videos. I noticed your plastic videos you came up with is off there. Yeah, I'm actually gonna revisit all those plastic videos. I don't know how many of you guys remember the doctor, Dr. Liptikov. I think he changed his name to Liptikov. But yeah, he was really good with that plastic, and I decided to try to find other stuff that would work, and that's when I ended up using the Victor rubber cement. That worked really, really well. It wasn't as good as his PBI from the Scapa tape, but it worked really good. And I don't know if you guys saw the video I did with the plastic rocket fuel. You got to watch that one all the way to the end, because I do end up getting the rocket to work. The first attempt, or maybe it was the second attempt, didn't work, but it ended up working. Damn it, we're in like January, right? And it's in the 20s and teens outside, and there are still freaking mosquitoes in here.
I know, I killed one earlier.
That is still going pretty slow. I like to get it going faster than that, but my favorite glass for cheap stuff, in case anybody is interested, is LaBoy. They're not that expensive, and they seem to have really good quality glass. Need another beer. I did a little cooler. I drink the cheap stuff. Yep, natty splatties, man.
Natty splatties.
You know what I thought about doing? And I don't know if anybody is interested in this, but I thought about printing out and laminating all of my recipes that I have found and come up with, and maybe selling a book on the procedures I've used to do it. If you could only make one compound of what you do, which one would you choose? Well, I'm going to tell you. It'd be a toss-up between, if you're talking about primary explosives, it'd be a toss-up between PETN and ETN, dude. I absolutely love ETN, but the PETN is so much easier to make. Yeah, so I'm considering, I probably will do a book. I'm going to set up a P.O. box too. If I did do the book, it would all have to be stuff that I've literally done in different videos. And I know that the kid that originally did the Anarchy's cookbook, I guess they really fucked with him, right? But here's the thing. It's literally covered under the First Amendment. I know they don't care about the laws anymore, but it is literally covered under the First Amendment. And it's the freedom of speech and expression. So maybe I would sell, say, a novelty item, and the book comes with it. That way they couldn't even try to say that I was, get what I'm saying? That way they couldn't try to get me the same way they got the butthead that the kid rather that did the Anarchy's cookbook, which was which was a real joke. I don't know if you guys have ever read any of that, but none of that stuff works. Just do a disclaimer on it. Well, there would definitely be a disclaimer that nothing here is to be tried. It is for educational purposes only. But the idea is more of what I was talking about earlier with directly or indirectly making money off stuff without an FEL. And I think that for some reason they were able to try to say that was indirectly. I tend to disagree, but then again, CRS is in jail for essentially freedom of speech. So, because that piece of artwork that he did falls under the same thing. No, I've actually never made ETN with fuming nitric acid. Let's see, Science Madness. Yeah, no, see, I'm going to stick with the method I do. If Pika, if you could actually send me a link to that over on Twitter, that would be great. I'd like to see it. There are a lot of ways of doing stuff like that, and it is a sugar alcohol, so I can see where that would work. But heating it to 50C and having it not go boom, maybe. But yeah, ETN is not one of those things that you generally want to heat. It's even sketchy when you're doing melt cast in an ice bath after washing it. So, yeah. So I don't know if I'd be doing that one, but I would love to see it though. As you said, it's our right to know this information. You're 100% right. But I'm going to tell you something. Like with this last little experiment here I was doing with the pentaacetate onto the pentanitrate, everything is behind a paywall, for example. And it's ridiculous. And you don't even know what you're going to get when you go and looking at it, whether that's what you're going to, if you pay $48 to $100 to see it, right? And you only get to view the page for 48 hours, and you can't even copy it. Yeah, Wolf. ETN is, when it's in its melt phase, is about as sensitive as TATP when TATP is super dry and decent sized crystals. So it's no joke. You really want to be easy on it when it's in the melt stage. But whenever it's back to solid, it's a slight more sensitive than the powdered, but not much. Like there's a lot of misinformation saying that it's, oh my God, once it's solid again, it's still super. It is more touchy, but not as much as many people say. ETN though is my favorite power for basically. Look how much you get too whenever you make ETN correctly. I mean, you double the outcome of what you put in. It's just lovely stuff, and it can be used. You can add other explosives to it, or even just fuels. And it's so beautiful because it becomes so much more powerful just by adding stuff with it to balance out the oxygen balance. So much fun to play with. One of my favorite things to do with it was I mix it with a little teeny bit of acetone and gun cotton. And it made a slurry, it made a paste. And boy, oh boy, that was probably one of the most resistant explosives I've ever done. And that was something I did on my own. It was nobody else's recipe, and holy mackerel. That's in one of the old videos where I blow a hole in a steel square tube. That's over on BitChute. Yes, I did see on Dugan's channel that molten E10 is approximately 2.7 times more shock sensitive than TATP. Yeah, it's really nasty stuff whenever it's in the melt phase. You got to be really careful with it. And yeah, they do upload an entire database behind the paywall. And there's so many pages, if you're only renting it, you can only see it for 48 hours and you can't print it. There's no way you're going to be able to get all the information. So it's kind of a freaking ripoff. Now, if I had a password through a college or something, I would be able to see that. Like Tom from Explosion and Ire, for example, he used to sometimes he was sharing papers with me and stuff. He hasn't done that in a while. But yeah, people like him have it so much easier because if they know people in college, they can just go through and have them, give them the password or whatever and get, their hands on all of the information they want. He wouldn't give me the papers on Cubane either, I begged him for those, and he wouldn't give them to me. He said no. Let's see.
He was afraid you were gonna make it.
Yeah, he figured I was gonna make it first. Yeah. He's the one that turned me on to the O3 and ammonium hydroxide for ammonium nitrate, and I did the experiment. He was unable to get it to work, but it worked for me. I'm sure if he applied himself, he could get it to work, but his didn't work out so well. HGN seems. Okay, well, HDN, good luck getting it to explode. I have not been lucky enough. I mean, I haven't tried a high order cap yet. But, good luck getting that to actually detonate. I'm sure you can if you get a good enough cap. I simply only use the HDN as a step to making RDX. And a lot of people have tried to say that's a waste of time and so on. I think Dugan was even one of the ones that said it was a waste of time. But the only thing it's good for is keeping your acid mixture cooler when you're adding it. But that's not really true. Yes, it keeps your acid mixture cooler, but you get far greater yields back starting out with HDN than you do with straight hexamine. And the reaction isn't as violent, so you can add it quicker. But yeah, okay, Google, Sci-Hub, they offer you those papers. Sci-Hub? Ulf, are you on Twitter at all? Olaf. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. If you're on Twitter, yeah, please send me a link to that stuff, or post it here. You can't. YouTube will delete it. Oh, I hate YouTube. Oh, YouTube sucks when it comes to links and stuff. You give the URL to the website and it finds. Oh, that sounds awesome. I would love to try that. My acid's coming over all right. Slowing down again though.
Dude, I can't believe how many mosquitoes are flying around here, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. There are mosquitoes in here. I'm gonna have to hopefully these comments are all saved and I'll be able to go back through and look at them. But yeah, you guys, a lot of you guys should make accounts over on Twitter and follow me. You know, I'll follow you back. I don't use Facebook anymore, but I do have the energetics page over on Facebook too, and I let people in. I check Facebook just to let people into the energetics page, but I don't really use it that often. But I uploaded a lot of PDF files and stuff that I found to there, and so having a lot of other guys that are into this stuff. So there's a lot of good information over there on Facebook. Unfortunately, it's Facebook though. Oh. Definitely gonna have to check out what you were talking about, Olaf. Well, cool. If Pika, if you ever have any, URLs to some cool science stuff or channels you want me to check out, please, send me a message or drop it on my wall or whatever. I would love to see some of this stuff. It's hard to find a lot of information these days. And I'll tell you what, there was a time when it was really easy to find, and Google really cracked down on it. And then you've got other places like DuckDuckGo and all them that have now followed suit and have shut down a lot of the ability to find that stuff. My Twitter is 2A Templar. You can also look me up as at Darian Ballard or Ballard Darian? I forget.
I don't remember, dude. I'll be honest with you.
Well, it's either my name as you see it here on YouTube, or it's in reverse, and I forget. It's either at Darian Ballard or at Ballard Darian, but it's 2A Templar is the actual name. I actually got the blue check mark over there so I could start uploading videos there too. But Twitter is horrible for videos. They only do 1080p, and they want it in a very specific format and stuff for them to accept it. So fuck you, Elon. He sucks. I mean, he's made it better in some ways over there, but I still get suspended for making a joke. I made a joke about the governor of Maine was talking about the wind and all how trees were gonna fall over, and I said, I hope a tree falls on you, right? Well, I got a week off for a satire comment. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, I'm gonna kill you with a tree. You know what I mean? So in some ways, Twitter is better than it used to be, and in other ways, it really ain't. In some ways, it's worse. I've been suspended twice since I started real life. Since I got the blue check mark. But I was completely, and I was, Mac, I had 5 different accounts over there, and every one of them ended up getting banned when the liberals owned it. They completely, I had an account over there that had thousands. I had more people over on Twitter than I do on my YouTube. And they just liquidated that account. Bye-bye. I had that account for a long time. Science Hub. I think I have run across some of the Science Hub stuff. I'm definitely going to look into that. Olaf, I really appreciate that. Now, who here is familiar with all chemistry? He's an Australian buddy of mine, man. I'm really worried about him. Last time I talked to him, he was he's in the Facebook group that I made, but he was like shoeless in the woods, man. Last time I wrote to him, and things weren't going good down there, and I'm afraid that he's either in trouble or dead. He's a hell of a guy, hell of a YouTuber. And if you don't know who All Chemistry is, check him out. He's worth a look. He's another Aussie. This is so slow. Yeah, go check him out. He's quite the guy. He even does a he's got a BitChute as well. And I'm subscribed to him through BitChute. He's subscribed to me. He even does some hyperbaric explosives and stuff. He's done some pretty interesting stuff. Him and the Dr. Liptikov were my two favorite friendly YouTubers that I have chatted with. The Liptikov, or Doctor of Liptikov, depending on how long you've known him, that guy is really creative with his apparatuses and how he makes stuff to make the different. Like, he doesn't really buy any of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll make a tumbler out of stuff, and he does such a good job. Yeah, now that'd be kind of cool. Fuel air explosions. If I was gonna do that, I would definitely do it in the wintertime when there's snow on the ground. I did. That's, by the way, that is a not a hyperbaric. Damn it! It's a. Damn it! I can't think of the name of it. Basically, yeah, it throws the fuel into the air and it lights it. That's the same thing I was just talking about a second ago. It's a thermobaric. Sorry, that's it. It's a thermobaric explosion. And yes, one of the explosives I did was an attempt at a thermobaric. Yes, yeah, thermobaric. But it kind of didn't throw the stuff good enough. And that was the one where I used the acetone, the ETN, and nitrocellulose as the main charge in the middle. And then I had low-grade aluminum flash powder around the outside of it. And it was set up so it would throw it into the air and then detonate it. No, it kind of worked, but it didn't work as good as all chemistries. All chemistries worked really good. I used a different design. He used TNT, I believe, in his. But mine was pretty cool. It blew a hole in the. Actually, I think I have the piece of metal right here. The video I'm talking about. This was the outcome. I had the thermobaric powders on the sides. And then I had my ETN puck in the middle, which was a small Dixie cup that was only that full. And it blew right through there, bent this, and the puck that came out the bottom ended up through a propane tank that it was sitting on 4 feet in the freaking ground. Now, the piece that folded this in was supposed to be the thermobaric part, and that made a nice big flash, but it really didn't scavenge enough of the air to work good. It just looked really cool. And then that one's, that one's over on BitChute. There's 2 of them where I blow this type of stuff up. One of them was a melt cast, and I used PETN and RDX. RDX and ETN, and then PETN and ETN mix for the other one. But this was the better one. Let's see. It's been real silent on the internet.
Yeah, give me a second. I got it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of the mysterious explosions you hear about on the news and stuff is probably people like me or him. I mean, Explosive Laboratory Boom Labs. I'm trying to remember which one he is. I know that channel too. But no, you're probably right. They're probably quiet for a bit. I mean, federally, this stuff's all perfectly legal, but it's the states really that you got to watch out for in their different laws in the states, or even town ordinances. Like where I'm at, for a long time, it wasn't even legal to set tannerite off, although it was legal in the state. Yeah, actually, I did have a close call. The first time I ever made RDX, I was using the HDN drop method starting out, and I didn't get enough of the acetone out. And oh yeah, I mean, as soon as it started getting going, like nitrating out good, all of a sudden it was violent and fast. I did actually get some burns on my fingers, not really bad. I was able to dump it off into my bucket of water. That's why I always keep a bucket of water right near where I'm doing the reaction, and there was enough NO2 being created so quickly that I did end up getting a little whiff of it, and I'll tell you, that makes your lungs wheeze for a bit. I got very lucky, and that was in my earlier days. I stopped even bothering trying to do RDX for many years after that, and then revisited it quite a lot later, and then realized what I had done originally, and I remedied that. But as far as actually being injured, doing stuff like this, knock on wood, nope, and I still got all my fingers. I'm probably jinxing myself. But this is no, that question is another reason why I'm a little concerned with the xylitol pentanitrate, is because I don't have a really good procedure for that. Okay, and I tell you what, this is what they all say to do for the pentacetate. They say to use acetic acid, okay, or glacial acetic acid. And that is a very scary mix. I mean, a lot of production of other types of chemicals and explosives were stopped because this stuff is known to explode or run away pretty much all on its own. And the xylitol pentacetate obviously has some of that bound to it to begin with. So even if I'm doing the sulfuric acid method, assuming that it'll even work, we're still going to have some of the residual acetate in it. So yeah, so what I'll probably do for that to try to keep it really safe, since I'm not even sure what the concentrations or anything are, let me see what I can find here. Ugh. I may or may not record, and maybe I'll do lives when I do this. So if something catastrophic happens, everybody gets to see it, right? But what I'm considering doing is very small nitrations in test tubes, these big test tubes like this, but putting them deep underwater with just the top showing. So the ice bath would be really deep, would be underwater quite a ways. That way, if a teeny bit did decide to go bang, the water should actually absorb the explosion and hopefully keep everything from going awry. At least that's what I'm planning on doing. And then I'll repeat the process a few times to see if it's repeatable. That's if we end up with the nice powdered xylitol pentanitrate, because from what I understand, most people are getting a syrup out of it. And it's not supposed to be a syrup, it's supposed to be a crystal, white powdered crystal. But yeah, that's another reason why I don't like just doing stuff as experiments from scratch without some kind of good literature. And I don't have the literature, so I'm going to do it anyway. But it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you what, though, there was an explosive that scared the ever-living shit out of me that I made. Some of you guys have been following for a while might remember this one, but it was a plastic, and it was what was it? It was nitrocellulose, and it was ethylene glycol that was nitrated. Shit, what else did it have in it? There was something else in it too. I don't remember what the other compound was, but it was a mix of, maybe it was ETN or P10. But anyway, it was a mix of the three, and it made a plastic that you couldn't handle with your hands because it was poisonous to go through your skin. And that stuff, dude, was so touchy. It with temperature change, it would go off. If you went like this on it, it would go off if it was hot out. And on another day, if it was cooler out, I mean, you could whack it with something and it wouldn't go off. That particular stuff scared the shit out of me. I hated playing with that. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing more plastic videos. I've got some of that stuff saved. Well, I'm gonna tell you something about Oklahoma City. To me, that doesn't even look right. Okay. Uh, Setting the truck out front like that, it should have blown stuff back toward the building. It appeared to blow stuff outward. Um, Now, it could have thrown it all up in the air and it landed in that pattern, but I kind of doubt it. I don't know. I think there was something off about the Oklahoma City stuff, to be quite honest with you. Because ammonium nitrate explosive mixes are not that powerful, okay? And he had a lot of it, okay? There was a lot, but still, I mean, now, if you want to make a good, powerful ammonium nitrate explosive, mix it with a little bit of that stuff. All the right ratios, and you'll get something that's, worth using maybe. But yeah, no, the Oklahoma City stuff, I personally think that, yeah, he probably had a car bomb with diesel fuel and all that outside, but I'm pretty certain that there was probably something inside the building too. I could be wrong, but looking at the way the explosion laid out, it makes no sense to me that it was all outside of the building. It shouldn't have thrown it across the street like that. It should have thrown it over the building and back. It was definitely off. Like the thermite rolling out of the Twin Towers, man. I might even start doing some giveaways. Try to gain some more subscribers and stuff. Like, maybe lab glass or chemicals that are lawful in all the states, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. maybe even ammo, but my channel is more about the chemicals, I guess. So I gotta crank this thing up more. I mean, that is crazy. We're supposed to be at 109. Stuff boils at 83°C, and we're still barely getting it coming over. Excuse me. This stuff should be between 96 and 98%. No, ammonium nitrate is not hard to get in the U.S. I have like 400 pounds of it. It's a little expensive. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I got friends. Okay, look up ammonium nitrate. What was that place? Ammoniumnitrate.com.
I don't remember.
Well, you can buy it. You can buy it by the 45-pound box. The guy was selling it by the 50-pound box, and it was around $100. And that makes a lot of kaboom booms and bang bangs. I think it was ammoniumnitrate.com. But that's where I bought a lot of it. When I was a kid, we used to have 40 ton of it right out in the shed here, because the U.S. government used to subsidize it and give it to us for free to grow cow corn. Yeah, at Pyrochem Source, they sell it too, but it's really expensive. You're going to buy it by the pound maybe. I love Pyrochem Source, though. They're the best place to get so many things. That's where I got... That's where I got this stuff. That stuff's fun to play with. And then, of course, stuff for party favors here. That was not from Pyrochem Source, though. That was actually off eBay. Originally, when I ordered it, they sent me a bottle, a bag of it, a bag of the pentarithritol in the mail with no label on it, right? And it came from China that way, and it looked like it was like drugs or something. And I was pissed. I'm like, you can't send stuff with no label on it, right? And the lady's like, oh, sorry, sir. And that was the first stuff I bought, and I still haven't even gone through all that. But the last video I did, I wanted to make sure they didn't rip me off. So that last video I did of the pentarithritol tannerite without sulfuric acid, I used this particular one just to see if they were actually selling me the real deal. And this one here is one I bought, I don't know, going on 7 or 8 years ago. And this stuff here is still good, and yeah. But that was actually a pretty good price. Well, you know, it's really easy to make bleach. All you got to do is take some table salt and you put it in a glass container, or, well, even a plastic container, I suppose. And you want to get a platinum electrode and a stainless steel cathode anode, but you want the platinum for the positive, stainless steel for the negative, and you saturate a solution of salt in the water, and then you put the in there on a 6-volt DC battery charger, and you let it set for literally just a day or two, and you will have some really potent bleach. You take that bleach, and the less salt, if you're just looking for bleach, you don't want to use a ton of salt. You want to use just a little bit, right? But anyway, you run this electrode, bubbles, you run it for a couple days, you'll smell the bleach immediately, you pour it off into a glass pan or a glass beaker, and you boil it down, okay? And as it boils down, you'll start to see crystals fall out of solution, okay? When you get down to where you get almost no water left, and it's almost all crystals on the bottom, you just simply take that and filter it off, okay? And then dry out the crystals. And that'll actually be sodium chlorate, right? But let's say if you don't run it that long, you don't run it till any crystals fall out, you just run it for a day, you'll have hypochlorite, you'll have bleach in the liquid. Because if you got hypochlorite and you boil it, it destroys the hypochlorite and turns it into a chlorate, and then some of it back into sodium chloride. Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff to do that too. The only problem is some of that stuff is counterfeit. I found that out the hard way. Yeah, it can be annoying to set up the cells. I like to do them to where they're vented outside and they're sealed up. But the problem with that is if, like, let's say your salt clogs it up, you'll run into a problem like my buddy Canagorilla did, where it ends up clogging up and explodes. Yeah, I'm definitely going to make a book. I'm going to have to look into this. I got to make absolutely certain that it's not going to come back and bite me. I mean, it shouldn't, because it's freedom of speech. It's not, like, you're not going to cut out the letters and then it's fireworks. Do you get what I'm saying? Kind of like CRS, that poor guy. You can buy 50 pounds of white fine stock salt at Tractor Supply for... Yep. And now is that sodium chloride that you're getting, or is that potassium chloride? Because if it's potassium chloride, man, you can make the potassium chlorate straight out of it. Okay. This is going so slow. I mean, it's a good rate and all, but and the top of that looks like melting snow. Potassium chloride I probably made 10 years ago. That's funny. I got so much of that stuff. Antique can of boric acid. Oh, so boring. That is 1,000 milliliter flask, so I mean that's a decent amount of nitric acid there. But it's still not going quick enough. I should be getting around 400 mils, 450 out of this. So that's, I'm going to guess that that's only 200. I was doing this for a long time with having it come out clear immediately by using the that vacuum pump right there, and the aspirator vacuum pump. But boy, that took so long, it was ridiculous. I don't know why it's moving so slow, to be honest with you. It could just be this mantle. These numbers might not be right. Normally, I just don't even put a thermometer in there. I just crank it. But this thing here, you know, it has to have this to work, because this one there's no control for the other, you know, for the heat. So unless that's plugged in and hooked up, it don't work. So maybe I should... Oh, suddenly it's going a little quicker now, and I didn't even do anything. I did just turn the temperature up, too. I turned it up to 120, and it's still climbing. You think this is slow, man? When I was doing the vacuum setup, that was slow. First time I ever made a mistake doing that was I threw everything in there. I mixed the acid and the nitrate immediately, and immediately put vacuum to it. Well, it already had so much heat from the exothermic reaction from the fertilizer and the acid that it immediately boiled and started throwing red like you would believe. So it was like, oh, so I had to start all over again. What a nightmare. We almost out of fuel over here, do you think?
I don't know. Didn't check it. That's probably the most frequent answer you're going to get out of me is I don't know.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know.
Didn't check it.
I don't know.
When I buy chemicals, I always try to buy bulk.
Still got fuel.
Could use that to make nitric acid too. I bought this to make potassium chlorate. Potassium chloride. Pool softener salt. Yeah, I gotta clean this place up, man. It is horrible. Horrible, I tell you.
You need to move everything from here.
Out to the other lab, yep. We're gonna move the mill too. Chris and I are we're gonna set up, I got 2 rooms out there that are they're about 3 times the size of this if you add up both rooms. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna set up a whole room for reloading and milling and gunsmithing. and we're going to set up the other area just for laboratory stuff. And I might use this area just for storage, perhaps, but we'll see what happens.
Well, what's that?
America won't be America in less than 5 years, the way things are going, unfortunately, June. No, I'm not off the grid. I would like to be off the grid, but I'm in a spot right now. I'm in southern Maine, and I probably shouldn't tell people where I'm at, but it doesn't matter, really. I'm in southern Maine, and we're being completely overrun by liberals from New York, Massachusetts. I'm going to have to pick up and leave here. I mean, it probably won't be long, and I'll have to. So this is what I use for the chlorate cells, or to make bleach. I got these great big glass jugs, and I set that in, use 6 volts. These work really good. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think America's going to be around much longer, man. What we're seeing is, what people don't understand is that throughout history, as far as countries and things go, history is a long story of places being invaded, taken over, and then becoming something else, becoming another country. Well, Michigan's really bad. It's full of Muslims. Yep, yeah, it's exactly Roman Empire. But you see, we're going through 2 things here. One, we're being invaded. The Roman Empire wasn't invaded, but you're dead on though, Mac, because we're having 2 issues here. We're being invaded from all over the world, which means we no longer have a country, and they're not coming here and acclimating with us. They're coming here and they're taking over. They're flying their flags and so on. And then on top of that, like you said, Rome, okay? Their country, essentially, their empire, died because they realized that they could vote themselves raises. They could vote for subsidies and things. They didn't have to work. And eventually, once everybody decided, hey, it ain't worth working, we'll all go on the dole, that was the end of the Roman Empire. So we're getting a double whammy, and it's happening very quickly. What is this? Unorganized. Well, yeah. See, here's the problem with Northern Maine. Is that we got all these people that have been shipped into Canada that hate Americans, mainly Islamists. Okay, and there's a ton of them in Canada at this point. I mean, an absolute ton. And then you're locked far into the top of the blue state. Maine used to be a really good state, but it's not anymore, and it's dying fast thanks to mills. And there's no way for you to get out. So what are you going to do? There's no place you can go get the supplies you need. You know what I mean? You're not going to go to another state. You really can't just go into Canada to get that stuff, to get things you need. So, I mean, yeah, if you were totally self-sufficient, Northern Maine would definitely be the place to be. But as of right now, it's not someplace I'd want to be. Yeah, see, that's the thing is these people are being, June, these people are being like, they're being offered stuff. What people don't get is we have people in South America, Haiti, and other places that are literally telling these people, oh no, come to America and we'll hook you up. These are not refugees. They're economic migrants. They're coming here to get free stuff. That's what it comes down to. And what they're doing is they're replacing us in our jobs and all this other stuff, okay? They'll tell you, oh, the replacement thing is fake, and whatever. Who cares, right? Here's the big issue. They're bringing all these people here, and what's going to happen whenever we go into a deep recession because the dollar ain't worth nothing? These people are used to fighting to get what they need for food. Some of them, anyway. The rest of them with the cell phones, fat coming across the border, not so much. But these other people are being brought here, so whenever they drop the hammer and there's no more food left, they're going to kill us to get it. That's what they're going to do. I mean, it's sad, and that's what people don't understand, man. They're literally being brought here of a certain age to take us out. Yeah, a lot of places have already dumped the petrodollar, and that's one of the reasons why we're not just our spending, but that's one of the reasons why we're seeing inflation go through the roof. A lot of people don't understand that we literally attacked Iraq. It wasn't because we thought they had weapons of mass destruction, and it had nothing to do with 9/11. What it actually had to do with was he was going to back the dinar with gold and silver, and we couldn't have that. We wanted everything being sold in all oil being sold in American denominations. Yeah, it's the way I'm looking at it too. But I was just kind of hoping that I'd be able to live my life in the American dream. But unfortunately, my friends, it's not. It's not just here. America is the last shining light. Once we're done, there's no place else you're gonna go. I mean, you're not fighting these people. That's the crazy thing. They're like all these people, like the Red Dawn scenario, right? The Red Dawn scenario. Oh well, they can't invade us, right? I mean, there's no way you could get that many people from, say, China or something to come here and fight on American soil. But here's the problem. Here's where they're wrong. It would take way too long, and we'd see it coming, right? Here's what they're doing, though. They're literally flooding us from the north, the south, and from the west, and they're already here. Like look up trade weed in Maine, for example. They're finding all these CCP operatives that are growing pot in Maine, and they're using poisonous shit to grow it, which is giving people seizures and stuff. I mean, whites ruled South Africa as a minority. Yeah, and look how they're being treated right now. They're being hunted down and slaughtered. And I wish it wasn't about white, black, Asian, or whatever, but and to some extent it isn't, but in the end it will be. That's the sad thing about it. There are a lot of good people of all nationalities, colors, shapes, and sizes. But whenever they all want what you got and they're going to come get it, it don't matter. They're trying to play us all apart. It's like, the Spanish people, for example, coming in from the south, okay? I'm part Cherokee and I'm French, okay? So I have basically Cherokee, and they're related to the other types of Indians, or Inuit and so on. Now, the Mexicans, the Spanish Mexicans, for example, are Caucasian. They're Spaniard, so they're white, and they're also mixed with, say, Indian or Inuit. Okay, so basically, it's the same type of bloodline I have, but yet I'm considered racist because I don't want them invading. Right? I mean, this is all a game they're playing. Divide and conquer. Make everybody hate everybody, and it makes it so much easier to get the job done. But that's where we're at. It's really sad. I mean, I never thought it would go this far. But I thought people would be smarter than they are. And unfortunately, it just blows my mind to see how ignorant most people are. And I'm going to tell you something. Most Americans are the single most ignorant. Like this girl at work, I don't know, a couple weeks ago was like, she overheard a friend of mine talking about this, and she's like, well, those people coming across the border, they're not hurting you. How are they hurting you? And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, these people don't get it. They don't understand. My father's side of the family came over on the James and the Mayflower, so I got roots. The other part of my family is part Cherokee, so I got more roots than most people do. And I've got these people telling me, oh yeah, well, you invaded Indians' territory and all this stuff, right? Well, hello, I'm part Indian, and that shouldn't even come into conversation in this whole bullshit that's going on. But yeah. That's a touchy subject for a lot of people. There are a lot of good people out there that don't understand the depth of what's going on. It's at the point where it was a time, there was a long time there where it was, we need to wake everybody up, right? We need to wake everybody up. But at this point, the people that are going to wake up are woken. And the rest of them are just simply now people that are going to keep track of you and what you're doing. And you're not going to wake them up or help them. So it's time to hunker down, my friends. Save your food, save your seeds, save arms. Don't get in any trouble. Try to stay as clean as a whistle. Your part Columbine? Oh, Colombian. Oh, Colombian, yeah. Well, more power to you. Colombian, I used to smoke Colombian cigarettes. They were actually pretty good. Like I said, it doesn't matter who you are necessarily, where you're from. It's all about the ideology you bring with you, how you did it, how you got here. I mean, yeah. We're all God's people. But even God says in the Bible, those who will not work shall not eat. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people just don't want to hear, you know. And these people are coming here illegally, the illegal guys, thinking that they're going to get all this cool free stuff. And they will for a bit. And they will until it runs out. And it's going to be at the cost of the people here working to get it. And it's going to be like Rome. Yeah, fuck, Joe Biden is 100% right. And it's going to be like the whole deal with Rome and Solon, where they all realize that why would I work if I can just get a handout? It's sad, it's crazy. I don't want to crank this up anymore, man, but that's got to go quicker. And I'm getting nitrogen dioxide all the way down into there. I don't believe that's coming to an end. I mean, it could be. No, that's 1,000 milliliter. I started out with 400 mils of sulfuric acid and oh shit, I forgot how much potassium nitrate I started with, but it was a bunch. It is coming over all right now. I mean, it's not doing too bad. I'm just impatient. Well, I definitely got a bunch more videos coming. I'm definitely going to be out of work for at least another 2 or 3 weeks, I think. And having resources made like this, even if I go back to work, I'll still be able to do some of the stuff. And the place I'm working will be completely closed, from what I understand, after the summer. So I may have another extended time to make more stuff. Yeah. And his props. He's a senile old shitbag. Yeah, I guess keeping politics out of stuff didn't work so good on this one. I'm sorry for those of you that aren't up to speed with exactly what's actually going on. I actually had considered doing political podcasts, but I get pretty riled up, so I don't know if that'd be a good idea. I'd probably get myself in trouble. But all the stuff goes on. I don't miss much. I really don't. All of us like-minded people need to stick together. I hope so. Man, like I'll say it again, it doesn't matter what color you are, how big you are, how small you are, where you're from. As long as you got a good heart and you know what's right, and and you're going with it, you know what I mean? Like, don't let these fucking assholes divide you. Don't let them divide you. But at the same time, whenever they say, hey, you're a racist because you don't want somebody coming in and taking your pay, it's like, no, I'm a nationalist. I love America. Just like the people that love their country love their countries, you know? It has nothing to do with racism. I don't believe I'm superior to anybody. I'm not superior to anybody at all. There are people of all types that are far smarter than I am. You know, and that was the original definition of that shit. And lately everything is either bigoted, racist, or sexist, and it's just not the way it is. My mother and father both served in the military, and you know, they both. My mother served because she wanted to serve the country, and she didn't realize that she was literally serving under bankers. My father, on the other hand, um, I agree, Olaf. It is a factor, but it's not the only one. Um, my father, on the other hand, they were going to draft him, and he did not want to be just thrown anywhere because it was during Vietnam. So he joined the military before he got drafted, and he made out well, whereas his other family members did not make out well. They were experimented on, like with drugs and stuff while they were in Vietnam. Like my uncle, rest his soul. I mean, they gave him acid and sent him out to fight. I mean, our government doesn't care about us. What year did my father serve? I'm not sure, but it was during the beginning of Vietnam. He's almost 80 now. He's not a young man. He didn't talk too much about it. He was a top clearance guy. He was a radio tech. He was basically locked in an office with an incendiary grenade, and told that if they ever rushed the barracks, to incinerate all of the papers in the safes and things like that. So he doesn't talk about much. Doesn't talk much about it. But my it's actually not my uncle that died. That he was actually my second cousin. He's an older man, and they experimented him with LSD, and I heard horror stories about that. Yes, distilling nitric acid. Trying to do a bunch of it. And I'll be using some of this in an upcoming video. That's 1,000 milliliter flask, so I'm saying I probably got 250 or 300 mils. And it's, yeah, they do some nasty stuff to our soldiers. They actually do chemical experiments on them without their knowledge, all kinds of stuff like that. That's not even new. And how many mils did he get? Yeah, I got a bunch. MK Ultra, man, tons of LSD. Yep, and that graduated into other types of things which they're using now. For example, with all these mass shootings and stuff going on, if you do the research, a lot of these people that did these all share the same psych doctors. A lot of people don't know that. Like Adam Lanza's doctor, okay? Did you know this? Adam Lanza's doctor is the same one that is the head of the investigation for the Maine Lewiston shooter. And I had actually read that was that guy's doctor that did the shooting in Maine too. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff to connect there. I tell you what, LSD can be fun. I'll never do it again, but can you imagine? Can you imagine being in a arena of war, not knowing what's happening, not knowing if somebody's coming around the corner, to shoot you or something, and you're tripping, Oh, can you talk about a bad trip? I mean, that'd be horrible. I can't even imagine that. Yeah, true. He was screwed up for a long time over that. Um, like really bad. His father was actually a senator here in Maine too, and they still did it to him. Senator Hitchens was his father, which I guess would be my third cousin or something like that, because they're in the other part of the family. Now, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to end up doing some more interesting um, live streams. Hopefully, like especially as it gets warmer, like maybe I'll have a bunch of people over and I'll be mixing up different chemicals that we can actually light off outside or do some stuff like that. Or maybe even some stuff that's not science related, chemistry related, just stuff that's more exciting to watch. I am honored that I have some true patriotic type people here. Whether you live in America or not, it's amazing that you guys seem to understand what I'm talking about. You're not thin-skinned, and you guys seem to really get what's going on, and it's happening around the world to every country. I mean, it's they're getting ready to lock it down. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. I believe that we're going to see some unusual things happening from the whole COVID crap too that was going on. Like I believe that what everybody was given, which I did not take, and I'm not going to say what it is, but it comes in a little needle. I believe that there were numbers of different pathogens and items that could be triggered by further viruses in the future, okay, that they haven't put out yet. And I think we're going to see more of that stuff coming soon. I'm going to be doing more nitration videos. That's what I'm preparing this for. I'm actually going to do xylitol pentanitrate, and I've got some other stuff I plan on doing too. If I bugged out of Maine, at this point, I'm almost considering fortifying. Because no matter where you go, if you leave an area where you have lots of supplies, you're done. And I have enough people to where, and enough stuff to where if it got to the point to where I had to hunker down, I could have people watching 24/7 here. I probably have 100,000 rounds of ammo. I mean, I own more guns than anybody I know. I have food supplies and everything else. I'm able to make stuff like this. I have piles and piles and piles of stuff to do it. So to me, I don't think I'm going to bug anywhere. If I end up having to move out of the state before all that happens, I'm going to go to a state that's a Second Amendment sanctuary. It's a little warmer. But yeah, that'd probably be the only way to do it. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, have a good night, June. Great. It was great having you on here. Yep. You can never have enough nitric acid. It's so handy. You should come. Yes, that's what I'm going to do, Olaf. Is I'm going to everything that I've physically done and I know works, like period, and it's not hard to do. I will end up probably putting into a book. Because I would not just take somebody else's word for it and somebody else that wrote a paper or whatever, and then have it not be something that they could do or something that's too dangerous to do. We wouldn't want that. But yeah, if you guys don't know who Dugan is, I know some of you do. Check out Dugan's channel, man. He's pretty good. I'm actually very surprised. I knew him from his satire gun videos. I didn't realize he was into energetics. Now this is slowing down again, and we're not getting the reemergence of super red nasties here. So, oh, look at that! My probe's not even in there. It's not actually sitting in the. My thermal well's not deep enough. I know I got another thermal well here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Yeah, I forget who asked me, but I've had somebody that was actually very animate about making that for a long time, and I just hadn't had the time. And I stored up a bunch of papers, man, to do this, right? And I read some of them, but I didn't read all of them, and I stored them on my computer, and then my computer crashed, and I lost everything. So it's actually pentanitrate, I believe. Um, And yes, it's very similar, but here's the difference: is it's a primary. I would never try to make a large amount of it. It's used for blasting caps. It's also O positive, like ETN is, so you could actually say add a little aluminum powder to it or something else and give it an extra kick. I can find stuff about the properties. I can't seem to find any of the actual papers on the actual how they make it. But that's why I'm having to go through the steps. And if you go back at my last video, there was a person on there that actually commented about because I said how I believe the reaction went forward, but I put it in layman's terms, and the individual wrote pretty much the exact same thing I said, only they put it directly into technical term, but then they went on to also surmise that what they believe was in here, which I believe is similar, but I think that there's less acetic acid in here than they think. I think this is mostly still anhydride rather. But they were right about everything else. And it was a pretty good comment. So if you guys want to go look at the comment and give the guy thumbs up on his comment, that'd be pretty cool. Guy or girl, I'm not sure from the way they put their name. Yeah, that's pretty slow. And this is why I hate nitric acid. Look at that. It's almost completely stopped. Bloop, bloop. And I know it ain't done yet. Let's see, is my water getting hot yet? Normally I have a garden hose. Nope, that ain't getting hot yet. You know, that's probably actually not too far off. I would imagine that's probably around 300. And I would hope that it would be a little bit more electrostatic stable than those two, because it's a primary and it's, it goes bang instead of just burning when you light it. So I would hope so. ETN can go bang, but you got to heat it or deck cap it. But yeah, I got some experiments I would like to do. But once I'm done with that, I'm going to go back to a few other things. Somebody wanted me to make HMX. What's this? The temperature. This machine only does Celsius. So So I was saying, somebody wanted me to do a video on HMX, and I might. But the thing about HMX is, every time you make RDX, you end up with a small amount of HMX, and vice versa. If you make HMX, you end up with RDX some. And it's almost impossible to separate the two. So I will probably do it, but it's like one of those things where it's going to be contaminated equally with the other. So it's, so you know, it's hit or miss, and it's going to be impossible without, you know, like college laboratory stuff to even be able to tell how much of what I have. Yeah, see, you got to set up a guillotine lamp. There are other ways to make acetic anhydride, and I've got plenty of acetic anhydride. I don't even have to make it. Good stuff to have. It was hard to get. How much did that setup cost? You mean this, the mantle and that? Well, I think this was around $250. The 3-neck was, I don't know, $100 or something like that. And I do not remember what that is, the little boy setup on the top, to be honest with you. This mantle is, this mantle is all right. I really don't like this mantle like I do like the other one. I ended up buying one from Stony Labs that I think is better, and it was only like $180. But the one from Stony Labs has another knob, so you don't have to deal with this, so you don't have to have this probe. See, this here tries to regulate the temperature for you, and sometimes it works all right, and sometimes it doesn't. But when I'm using something really caustic like this, dude, I have to have a glass thermal well, which really slows down how fast it reacts to heating and cooling. So yeah, it's not ideal. Yeah, I like stuff that's more precise for sure. And this one here is supposed to be, but it's not. It looked like it was going to be, which is, my girlfriend actually bought that for me for Christmas, I think. I mean, it works. It does the job. This looks like it's really slowing and it's darkening, which means it's probably getting close to the end. Yeah, you really do need either a flat mantle like that or one of these round ones, because they get stirring in them, and for a lot of stuff you've got to have stirring or you get really bad bumping. This, you don't have to have stirring, but you want something that'll run these little suckers. Stirring in it, because you really don't want bumping when you're doing some of this stuff. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do, is I'll probably end up doing a giveaway. Yeah, she buys me all kinds of lab type stuff. She bought me this, I don't know, a year ago. She bought me 2 SOX electric extractors. She buys me a lot of lab stuff. I don't remember which one this is. I'll have to. I just picked up a 1000, but I was just using this to, when I would get the stuff from China, I like to keep the box they send it in, and use it as a box to keep it from smashing. But here's the base of a 500. Oh, the tape is sticking to it. Base of a 500 mil SOX electric. Big row funnels out of there. Oop, here's the condenser to that one. See, I try to keep all this stuff in the wrap I get it in, because I'm kind of a klutz and I tend to break stuff. She had to order this one twice. This is the bottom of the 500. I have more glass than most other YouTubers that I know of. Even the big guys. Probably the only one that has as much glass as I do would be Nile Red. None of the other YouTubers I've seen have as much glass as I do. I even have the same freaking lab jacket as Nile Red if you guys go look at that last video. I wonder if I can get that 1,000 out of there. See, the thing is, I'm tripping over all my stuff. Nice big still right there. Oh yeah. Oops, knocked that over. Like I said, I like to keep the boxes they send them in. This is the 1,000. I was not impressed with this. This came up from this is 1,000. This came from eBay. I mean, not eBay. Amazon, right? Now the condenser and this piece are fucking awesome. They're flawless. But this flask here has a huge air bubble in a very dangerous spot right there. And it's not symmetrical on the bottom. And this is ovaled. So you'd have to use a lot of grease to stop that from leaking. So I ended I bitched about that. So I got an adapter for this to fit my other flasks. So I'll still be able to use it. They wanted me to return it, but every time I've returned something like this and got it back, I end up getting it back broken. So I was like, no, I'll just give you guys a bad review instead. Because I tried to get them to just replace the flask on the bottom. I got to put this back. But they wouldn't just replace the flask. They wanted me to ship the whole thing back. So that was kind of like, nope. Bad review. Okay, what do we got in the comments here? No, kerosene is not good. It's not a good explosive. It would work decently if you were, say, mixing it with ammonium nitrate or something, but kerosene itself is a good propellant. It's not a good explosive. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't make stuff explode with kerosene. It's just, it would not be my choice. Yeah, I'm thinking that this is probably getting done. And if I take this off, I'm going to have to turn the ventilation on. Because we're up there in temperature. I mean, this... Still stuff coming over. It's just real slow. Yeah, but spiked with what? I mean, if you add an oxidizer to it, it might work really good. Mortars can be hard to make. I have made some. You got to watch out, though. There are federal laws on the size and so on, and the way that they're made. So I stick to fireworks stuff when I'm doing that. What do you think? That looks pretty much done, huh?
Looks like it stopped coming over. Drip here and there, but yeah, it looks pretty done. I'd let it go. Looks like there's a lot of leftovers in the neck right there.
That could work. The problem is I think you might have a hard time getting the hydrogen peroxide to mix with the kerosene. You might have to have some kind of an intermediate, like alcohol or something. Hey, Chris, can you talk to these guys for a minute?
About what?
Anything.
For what?
I was going to go in the house real quick.
Well, I don't know what you want me to say. I drank too many beers already. I don't know. I'm not a chemist, so I can't really interest these guys. All these guys are smarter than me, so.
I will be back in less than 5 minutes. I'm going to let my friend tell you about his channel. He does. He looks for gold and prospects. I will be right back. Do not go anywhere. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I guess I can talk to you about nothing, stuff you're not interested in, and show you pictures of chemistry. Yeah. So I have a channel called New England PDA. It's prospecting, detecting, and adventure, and I look for gold, and I also metal detect, and yeah. I know it's not interesting to you guys, but that's all right. This is just a brief intermission. Yeah. So yeah, I go up in New Hampshire and Maine and find placer gold. You're lucky you live in gold country, California. They got some good gold out there. Pretty much throughout the whole state. Maine's got gold. New Hampshire's got gold. But it's all just placer gold. You're not going to find any really good nuggets or any type of lode gold situations. But California, damn. I'm jealous. The whole West Coast is good for gold. Oh, in Maine, the Swift River in Maine? Yeah, I've gone up there to Byron, Rumford area, and yeah, I've come out with not quite a gram of gold. It's all really small gold that I've been getting up there, but yeah. I'll tell you what, gold fever is real, absolutely real. I can't explain it. I just saw a couple videos on YouTube, and I've always been interested in finding gold, but I never actually made any action to do it. And yeah, it's gold fever. It's real. Once I started, I couldn't stop. I'd take any extra time I got to go out and try to go find some gold. And I tried all the local rivers around where I live, and yeah, nothing there. I came up with nothing, and from that point, I was determined to actually find some. So. Yeah. Since then, I spend whatever time I can to go find placer gold, and usually I got to travel like two hours away, so it kind of sucks. But
Oh, I'm gonna open the vent up outside.
all right,
And
yeah, Darian's back.
yeah. Get this stuff on just because I'm about to handle the nitric acid. I think I'm
Go
gonna
from
be done
Eastern
with this.
Taiwan. Oh, palladium.
That's
Yeah.
some good stuff.
Yeah, I wish we could find palladium around here. That'd be nice. Yeah, I've always had an interest in getting into like mining, but honestly, I'm a hobby prospector, so I really have no idea where to break into that type of stuff. I don't have the money to even break into that type of thing. I don't have the connections to do that either. So, yeah, I would love to do it, but going through all kinds of blasting materials and stuff, yeah. Put it through the process, put it through a trommel,
All right.
run it down a sluice.
Can you record me? Because I'm gonna have to have both hands.
Okay, yeah, I can
So-
hold this. Let me grab my beverage.
All right. So, yeah, see that Nile Red?
He's all professional now.
Yeah, this this is pretty high end acid here.
Yeah,
Turn that
I'm gonna
on.
back up because I don't want to breathe any.
I'm gonna
nitric
turn
acid.
this off. I'm pretty sure we're we're pretty close to done. Sulfuric acid is expensive, but it's not so expensive that I can't waste it. Oh, where's the switch? Teeny bit. We'll call it quits early. I would wear gloves to do this, but this stuff will literally make gloves explode into flames. Alright, let's get this out of the way. You never have anything, drink or food anywhere near, especially when you're going to open stuff up.
That's good advice.
You get a drop of food or something like that in your food, you could be dead.
Dude, you lost viewers since I started talking. Oh, man.
Looks like we still got some stuff coming over. Oh, another note. You put these on a stand like this, so if you ever get a reaction that's going too fast, you can just lower this. Ain't that interesting? It looks like there's a lot more activity going on now that I've lowered it. Oh no, look at that. It's sucking back. It's trying to anyway. Well, we're gonna see what we got here. Well, you know, yeah, I don't think I have one that's. Don't really want this. A little bit of moisture in here all over it. I'm sure I'll get a lot less nitric acid than I want. I don't want to break my thermometer trying to get this up.
Oh, there you go.
I broke it. That paper towel don't want to come out.
Technical difficulties.
Yep. Hold on.
Got a Gold Bug 2. I got a Gold Bug 2. Well, I got a Gold Bug Pro. And I actually like it a lot. I bought it specifically for looking for gold. Looking for nuggets and little tiny nuggets, stuff like that.
Now, this is being stubborn. That ain't coming out. Already broke the thermometer. So,
I'm pulling out the big boys, huh?
yeah, let's see what we got. Storage container.
Pico wants to know about HDPE gloves. How come you don't use those?
Well, there's a lot of gloves that will work, but none of them are perfect for pure nitric acid or high-end nitric acid.
It'll destroy all of them.
In time, given time, it'll destroy most of them, yes. Look how much liquid there actually still is in the bottom
I
of that.
see it. It's still bubbling in there.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe I stopped this too early. Maybe I'll start again tomorrow, but look at the fumes.
Oh, yeah. You can't really see it through the camera, but I don't want to get too close to that. Yeah, I can see it fuming.
Well,
Yeah. Almost 275.
yeah. I definitely could have gotten more out of it.
Look at the fumes trapped in that flask there, dude. That's pretty cool.
Maybe I'll run this for
Don't
a little
breathe
bit
that, man.
longer.
Touch your face.
It's all being drawn out. Yeah, that stuff's wicked good for you.
Let's see. You got a bunch of, let's see. Ron Locke's Nerd. It says thermometers break painfully easily.
Yeah,
He's right about that.
I bought a bunch of them just because of that. Look at all those fumes, huh?
And some other guy, I don't know his name because it's in
Mandarin or something?
yeah, something like that. It says harvesting nitric acid. This is always satisfying.
Yep. Gotta love it.
And then Viagra said, will you test out more energetics on your channel in the future?
Oh, yes. We'll have a lot more energetics coming. I now have enough of this to do a bunch more tests and things. I keep it in here with baking soda in the bottom because it fumes so much, and I freeze it. Oops. Refrigerator. We want it in the freezer. Now, for those that don't know why I didn't wear gloves,
There we go.
let me see. What do we got? Something here I can do this on. Those of you that don't know why that I don't wear gloves while doing this, I need something metal. Hold on.
What is that?
That's a piece of nitrile glove. I just tore the tip of a finger off. Do not breathe this. Hold on. Yeah. Anyway, this is why I don't use nitrile gloves. Let me get rid of this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Most other gloves aren't any better. Maybe it'll make a liar out of me. Could have brought water over, I guess.
No, I was doing it.
Yeah, watch out.
It's drifting far
Yep.
that way.
That's why I don't use nitrile gloves. I'm surprised it hasn't lit on fire yet. Normally it explodes into flame. But it didn't, so I must have some water coming in. We were definitely at the end.
Yeah, I can't imagine that burning on my skin.
Yeah, me either. That would suck. Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I probably should have run that longer, but oh well. I think we're going to call it quits. I appreciate all of you for watching. Stay tuned. I'll be doing more live feeds. This is my first live. Well, this is technically not my first. Today was my first time ever trying live feeds. So, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful evening and stay safe out there.